My goal in CrossFit is to make it to the CrossFit Games for the 2023 season. So the CrossFit Games is more or less the Super Bowl of the CrossFit Games season. It was like the best of the best in the entire world. I ended up from the ranch into professional CrossFit, kind of just at the right place at the right time. I was working for a barrel horse trainer at the time, and I remember the first day I met her, she took off her jacket and her traps and her shoulders were huge. I'm like, dang, this girl's jacked. And so I tried CrossFit with her and realized very quickly, like most people do, I was really not in shape at all. At least not to the standard I thought I was. My job for her was to ride all her crazy barrel race horses, and I could not step on them because they were so crazy and they wouldn't hold still, and I was so sore, so I'd have to position them downhill so that I could get my leg high enough to get on these horses. It was ridiculous. But then after that I went home to Walden, which there's no gyms or even any gyms, but certainly not a CrossFit gym. And so I did my own thing for about a year, or that summer. And then I moved down to Fort Collins to do schooling and found a little very cheap CrossFit gym out of Raintree, and it appealed to the broke college kid because it was so cheap. And I was hooked. And ever since then, I've been doing CrossFit. So I think 2014 is when I officially started. So my last season for the CrossFit Games, we actually changed a lot. I changed my coach, I changed the program that I followed. We did a lot of mindset work, and what I thought at that time went all in, and it paid off. We made it through quarterfinals. I placed literally 120th, which was the very last person to qualify. So then I made it to semifinals. And going into it, my biggest goal was just to prove that I belonged out there, which I think I did. I placed 13th overall, and we did make some mistakes. So I know that just by cleaning up a few things strategy-wise and just planning-wise, that I can do better just on that alone. But with this season, I'm truly changing a lot of big life things in order to do everything I can to make it to the games this season. I think a lot of things that I learned, the biggest one, and as cheesy as it sounds, is that I am good enough to compete with these girls. I think when I qualified for semifinals, the way that I qualified, coming in that very last spot, I think there was a lot of self-doubt that maybe I didn't belong out on that floor with them. And I know I took a few top 10 finishes over the weekend in a very stacked field. And I think for me, it was just the confirmation I needed that hey, I'm just as good as these girls. I'm just a small town kid. I didn't grow up super fancy. I didn't have this tragic background. I did have to overcome some things, but I'm just your average, normal kid. And I want to prove that you don't have to have this incredible background or incredible story to make and do something incredible. And just hard work will get you there. You don't need anything fancy. You can be the small town kid that does something awesome.